Hi, I'm Life Coach Landry, and the topic is 5 steps to apologizing. You know, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry it was raining on the day you chose to go on a picnic. I'm sorry you weren't asked to go to the prom. You know, there are loads of situations and opportunities for people to say they're sorry, right? I mean, everybody's been through it. Everybody's found themselves in a position having to apologize for something. But there are, loads of situation opportunities for people to say they're sorry as well, right? So most of the time, these olive branches are very heartfelt, and there are many different scenarios where an expression of "I'm sorry" is appropriate, but there's also ones where it's not appropriate, right? So if you mistakenly interrupt somebody and you realize you've done it, it's appropriate to say you were sorry. But if you're late to a meeting, it's also appropriate. But what about when you should be sorry, but you really don't feel sorry? The ubiquitous "I'm sorry you were offended" or "I'm sorry if your feelings were hurt" are not really sincere apologies. In fact, they fall into what might be termed as passive aggressive category. Okay. The person is hurt. You did something to contribute to it, but you don't really feel compelled to own it or be accountable. And it's really important that when you do things like this, that you do feel that way. Otherwise, you shouldn't be saying it at all. Okay. So what does it feel like to the person on the other side when the apology implies that they have a problem? They were the one who chose to be offended. They were the one with the weak feelings that got easily hurt. They were the one who misinterpreted your actions and interpreted them as hurtful. So who is the problem? Focusing on becoming good at saying "I'm sorry" in a meaningful and legitimate manner is very, very fucking useful. Okay. Research is clear that forgiveness is good for your health. It's been researched time and time again, different ways, cross-sectioned, whatever way you can think it could have been studied. It's been studied and it's been proven forgiveness is good for your health. You can't often get forgiveness unless you can admit you were wrong. Offer a sincere apology. Ask for the forgiveness of the person. There have been many research studies conducted that many doctors have written these on the nature of forgiveness. I mean, there's plenty of books you can find out there. Studies found that the act of forgiveness can reap huge rewards for your health, lowering the risk of a heart attack, improving cholesterol, sleep, reduces pain, blood pressure, anxiety, depression, stress. I mean, research is on and on right there, right? Because there's an enormous physical burden to being hurt and disappointed. There just is. So how do you get good at saying sorry when you aren't even sure you did anything wrong? Consider these 5 steps to extending an acceptable olive branch, okay? Number 1, listen to the person's viewpoint and examine the situation from their perspective, okay? You may believe you did nothing wrong, but the adage 2 sides to every story holds true. Everyone has filters they use to see the world. Is it possible that your filter recuses you of all responsibility, whereas their filter may ask you to meet them halfway? Or maybe they have one of the kind of filters makes you need to meet them all the way. I'm sorry for whatever role I played in the situation might be a better fit. Okay. Number 2, consider whether there are patterns to the hurt you may cause others. Have you criticized for the behavior before? Are there themes in the feedback people give you? Take the opportunity to self-reflect, sometimes acknowledging the behavior. You were right. I was over the top with my comments, to your boss. And I realized it embarrassed you, or I'm sorry, can you help, to identify and self-correct next time, maybe catch me while I'm saying it instead of coming at me like blindfolded. Sometimes people just feel that you're coming at them because you're being passive aggressive, right? Number 3, if you truly believe the other person is wrong in believing that you did something wrong, examine their motives for bringing up the issue. What's underneath it all? Have there been other times they did not feel like you were a friend or a partner to them? Is there a history of letdowns? This past experience left a fester? You may find someone getting very upset at something you believe is no big deal, but it might be the straw breaking the camel's back. Consider your history together before you dismiss experience, okay? Number 4, when you do say sorry, be sincere about it. I can't stress this enough. There are too many people, they say they're sorry, they do it quick, they do it either sarcastically or with an undertone, or they just do it monotone, where it has nothing behind it. People, the number one thing they said that people respond to in science is genuineness. When somebody feels you're genuine, and then a day later they can still tell you're genuine, and a week later you're still genuine, they will actually believe you're genuine. Saying things in the moment or to make a situation better is not being genuine. People will pay attention to your behavior overall and see if it holds true for days and weeks on out. They're not going to just say it for the day and see if you're a good person for today, and then tomorrow you just don't seem as remorseful. When kids are little and parents say, apologize to your brother or sister or friend, whatever, and the child turns with a nasty sneer and says, sorry, we know they don't mean it. Adults do this too. An offhanded sorry, especially when followed by you were offended, just doesn't cut it. So quit it the fuck out. Quit being a child about it. Look the person in the eyes, call them up, get their attention, and be sorry. I am truly sorry for what happened and the role I played. I am so sorry my actions created this problem for us. Please forgive me. If you are sorry, mean it, okay? Number 5. Realize that some interactions need more than a simple I'm sorry. Don't expect that because you say it, the other person immediately anoints you with their forgiveness. Oh, now that you said it, everything's better. Okay, the priest in the confession may do this, but with human beings, they're not able to do that. Some things are big, and the person who was injured in some way, mentally, physically, whatever way, you're hurting their heart physically, you're hurting their mind mentally, whatever it is, they need time to process that, and you don't get to dictate the time and the way they do it. And forgive, okay? So don't have an expectation of them. Leave them be. Do your best to build the bridge, but allow their healing to be what it will. Once you acknowledge what you've done and have tried to make amends, move on, okay? Beating yourself up about it isn't going to change anything. When you're face-to-face with them, when you're hanging out with them, when you're around them, that's when you should be practicing it. But when they're not around, if it crosses your mind, just remind yourself that you're doing the best you can with it. And then you need to move on mentally about it. Okay, use the opportunity when practicing being sorry to become more self and others aware. And I'm sorry if anything written here offends you, but sometimes you just need to fucking hear it. Be fucking sorry. Walk on the coals. If you did something wrong, be accountable, own it. You can't escape it. You're not going to be able to get away with it. And especially if you love them and you want to resolve things, start the process now, not tomorrow. Okay? And don't hang around them and have this underneath tension where you need to apologize, but you haven't done it. Fucking say you're sorry. It's not that hard. Get the process started, but just make sure you're genuine and you mean it. Okay? If you'd like to book a personal session, contact me at the email below. And if you found this information of value, show your appreciation by clicking on the PayPal donation link below, and I'll talk to you soon.